My name is Diego Stefano Ibarra Shishido.
My full name is Varney Blamo.
I am Carolina Dubchakova. I'm majoring in international relations. I'm in the graduate program.
I'm a data science major.
My major is business administration. I have a minor in political science and I have an honors concentration.
I am from Slovakia. In terms of cultures, I lived in Slovakia, so obviously I identify with the Slovak, or I would say Slavic as a whole ethnicity. I have lived for 3 years in Hungary, and having spent the past 5 years in the US, I think I've grasped a little bit of the concept of the American culture, although I'm still trying to adopt to a lot of new things.
I was born and raised in New York, and I lived, my whole life, I guess. I moved to Indy last year. I identify as an African-American male. My mom is from Liberia and my dad is from Guinea.
I'm from Lima, Peru, South America. I am a Hispanic Latino. I used to be in the executive board for an honors program. I used to be the events coordinator, but now I serve as the student body president for UND. Well, I think UND chose me. It was really great. When the first time I came to campus, I think I belong here. It was amazing. It was such a small campus. I met a lot of people which make me feel at home.
I would say my involvement on campus is very varied. I am current acting vice president of the Muslim Student Association, and I've done a bunch of programming for them. But I'm also involved in a couple other initiatives on campus. I've worked with Center for Global Engagement as well, and I'd like to say that I'm a pretty active member of the community here. I chose UIndy because coming back to school, I wanted to be somewhere that there wasn't too much going on around me so that I can focus in and kind of zero in on my education. And UND has been a good environment for me to nurture that, to say the least.
I am here on a swim and dive team. That's the main reason why I got here. And now I'm also involved with working with the Crystal DeHaan Center for Global Engagement, as well as on the student organization of Study Abroad. I chose UND because of the small size of campus and the class sizes. It's in really family type of vibe for me, and I enjoy getting to know our coaches and our team. We have really great atmosphere and we support each other.
One of my favorite traditions or celebrations that we have annually is called Tabaski, but it's known in the other Muslim countries as Eid. And during Tabaski, we kind of have this massive feast around the city, and it's a really gorgeous celebration of life. Some foods that remind me of my culture the most would have to be jollof rice. Jollof rice is found in many West African countries, but we do it the best. It's been proven. Best pizza place in New York, that's so hard, you don't even know. I would say probably you're gonna have to go to Brooklyn. There's this place that does very unique cuts of pizza. They're called Cuts and Slices New York. They do really unique slices, it's delicious.
I might tell you about the strangest one. It catches everybody off guard, but it's the celebration at home. It's around Easter, and on Easter Monday, until the noon, the men in our culture go around women's houses and they will throw a bucket of cold water on you, and they also bring a willow wooden stick that you can tie a bow around it once they dump the water on you. And the whole purpose of this is to make the women beautiful and healthy for another year. I really wish I could make some of the home foods here. Sometimes I attempt to, although with the ingredients, it ends up tasting a little bit different. Our national food is my favorite one. It's kind of like a potato dumpling, I would say, looking thing with sauce. It's from sheep cheese, and you cut up a bacon in cubes afterwards, and you just put it on a pan a little bit. It's really tasty.
Well, like in Peru is really common the New Year's Eve, when we wake up in the 31st, the previous year, of course. We go and do some grocery shopping in the morning. We wait for the guests to come over at home, and then we start cooking and do the preparations at 8, 9, and then we celebrate with some fireworks. We have a tradition that we always buy 12 grapes for each guest, and each guest needs to eat each grape for each month for the next year, saying what they wish for that happened. Just 2 weeks ago, I was a little bit of homesick, and one of the places that I was remembering a lot, it was ceviche, and I think it's the perfection of simplicity. We don't need too much, you know. We need to believe that it's special for us just to kind of have like that feeling with the dish.
Yeah, I feel like that statement is pretty concise. It's those shared experiences that really make the world go round and make the world a lot smaller. I'm sure you would find that a lot of us, even though we come from different backgrounds, different races, we share a lot in common, you know? So I think people should focus more on those commonalities than those differences.
I love that statement. I've always said that it's very important to make everybody welcome, everybody respected. I've always said that you become more of a human every time you learn a new culture. And so being open-minded to learning those new things and other people's traditions just makes you more open-minded, more educated, and more understanding.
I think it's a really powerful statement. I think everybody should be feeling as they value, as they are being seen, as they belong here at Indy. We have so many cultures, and I think just having them make us more rich in who we are, making all this perspective coming together and embrace one Indy family, make us better than other campuses for sure.
I share the parts of my cultures with others in ways that I like to tell them stories from home, or as I mentioned, different traditions. I have a little bit of a habit of sometimes when there is something going on that at home, it's very traditional. I like to do that, let's say if it's a meal or like a little simple act. I try to do that with my roommates here. I try to teach them about it. They usually tend to enjoy those little moments.
I think in every single aspect, you know, in my life, sometimes, you know, the way I act, the way I speak, the way I communicate with others, or the way I just, you know, just behave. I think in the South American cultures, we are really close to each other, and we all feel as a family. So sometimes, for example, we tease each other a lot, but it doesn't mean we're trying to be mean. It just means that we care a lot about each other, and we just start to have fun about what we do.
I think I share parts of my culture with others by just being myself. I think I have a pretty strong self-identity, and from what I hear, you can kind of feel that when I come into the room, like I'm unapologetically Varney. And what that means is that I'm unapologetically African, and I'm unapologetically equally American, and all these parts make up this unique quilt that is myself. And I think I have a lot of pride in that, which allows other people to have pride in their differences as well.
Culture to me means something that you get to learn at home you get to experience it. And once you travel outside of your country, you get to teach others about it. It's something that those acts or different practices that you've learned can make you feel like at home, even though you're on the other side of the globe. And it's just something that you feel connected with your home country. Doesn't matter where you are.
I think culture means the mix of beliefs, customs, and traditions that we all have. Those things bring people together. It's really where do we come from and who we are as a person.
For me, culture is a unique, really varied recipe, right? It's different for everybody, but for me, culture is where you're from, what you're doing, and how that informs where you're going, right? And all of that, like I said, it can change, but all of these varied parts make up like one thing, which is culture. So it's hard to kind of put in words, but it's something of belonging and feeling.
The things that make me seen as a multicultural individual is our Indy has this event about celebration of flags every year in fall, and I think it's so interesting to be able to be there and to hold my flag, walk it across the Smith Mall, and see the amount of students that come out to celebrate the multiculturality of UIndy's campus and from all the countries abroad that our international students come from. So I feel like that's definitely one event where every single international student, including me, can feel appreciated. And I feel like that's where my multiculturalism stands out, really. Or it's really on the individual little conversations that I get to have with other people and teach them something new.
I feel seen as an individual when people take the time to ask questions for something. I think assumptions kill a lot of people being seen, I'm an open book, so when someone takes the time to ask something that they have a question on, it makes me feel seen, it makes me feel welcome, and I like to do the same for other people, so it's communication.
I think just people trying to get to know me. Sometimes, and as I said before, we prejudge of how the other is. I think it's a little hurtful when I feel that. Yes, sometimes we have so many stories or history before, and we have so many stuff that happened in our past that didn't define who we are. We have so many difficulties in our country that sometimes it's difficult for us to make or overcome obstacles during the process. But whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I think everything that I went through or that I'm going through makes me stronger in who I am.
Yeah, we're getting to this point where we're definitely getting more culturally integrated, and like I said, at the advent of social media and this past this .com boom, the world has just gotten so much smaller. So I think universities can do a good job if they're going in places that maybe there's not this heavy recruitment process yet, because we have genius everywhere, especially like the African continent. If universities were being more active in recruiting in places that people maybe don't have access to internet or this and that, then we can create a more diverse and equitable society for sure.
The more world gets intertwined with culture, I think campuses, at least my hope for that, is that they will become more inclusive of everyone, of every culture, more educational. Maybe some more events will be happening that will be attractive even to domestic students to attend, either as a way of entertainment, but then also in educational way. And I'm hoping that those communities will expand and more intertwine.
Well, I love that. I think we have different opportunities right now to just get to know other cultures without actually going to those countries. I think every campus should have international population, because it's really rich that we know other cultures around the world, and we need to know what actually the human race is. You know, how different can be, but how also can similar can be.
"75 countries that speak different languages, that have different traditions, and yet they come here with this vision of the American dream that I came here with. And I believe that one of the biggest strengths of this country, no matter your political persuasion, no matter what your economic ideology is, one of the biggest strengths of this country is all these people